Thank you for staying with us. Welcome to the entertainment segment. Following the groundbreaking success of Nigeria's first cinematic animation, Lady Bucket and the Motley Mobsters in 2020, animation queen Blessing Amidu returns with a bold new project, Secrets of the Multiverse. It's an epic sci-fi adventure set to captivate young audiences across continents, a spin-off of Lady Bucket and the Motley Mobsters. Secrets of the Multiverse tells the story of two children who, upon accidentally entering a multiverse, are thrust into a perilous realm where their choices could determine the fate of their world. The 13-episode animated series is written by Emanuela Amidu, a rising talent who began the screenplay at age 16 and completed it at 19. Secrets of the Multiverse will be released in 2 parts, the first in 2026 and the second in early 2027. The groundbreaking film has so far received multiple international awards. Both mother and daughter joins us today from our Abuja studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Blessing and Emanuela.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. I'll start with Blessing. You've had a very long and successful career in oil and gas. How would you compare the business dynamics of that sector with the animation industry in Nigeria?
Okay, so these are two very different, sectors, and also differs in the business dynamics as well. You want to talk about, capital intensity and scale. You want to talk about, market structure and maturity. You might also want to look at, the revenue streams, of both sectors. So for the oil and gas industry, you have, it's highly capital intensive. It's basically export driven and it's tied to global commodity markets. This is not the same, for the animation sector, which is basically, a growing industry. It is yet underdeveloped, but it's largely reliant on talent, creativity, and technology. So looking at, this both ways of the business dynamics, I would say at some point they would overlap. But when you want to talk about leadership, you want to talk about strategy, you want to talk about execution, I would say the fundamentals of business remain, the same.
Very interesting there. Let's look at the lessons learned in the business. How have you applied this from one industry to another?
Basically, I want to look at operational discipline. Being in the oil and gas industry all these years has taught me, to value process, to value risk management and quality control. So I've been able to, apply this, in the industry, in the animation industry, which also has, long production cycles, and in situations where you also want to improve production workflows and, come out with, highly consistent quality work. So these are some of the things I've been able to do. And then also, I've been able to think long term because, the oil and gas industry teaches you about sustainability as well. So, for an industry such as animation, you want to do long term, you want to invest in your pipeline, you want to build a franchise that would, that would last, for a long time. So these are some of the things I've been able to, to apply, in the oil and gas, from the oil and gas, sector to the animation. Another thing, sorry to cut you there. Another thing, I may want to add, is strategic, partnerships. So in the oil and gas industry, for instance, you learn to deal with, the government, you learn to deal with international, companies. You also have, your stakeholders in your community. So in the animation sector as well, this is, strategic partnership is key if you want to scale globally.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, let me quickly come to your daughter, Emanuela. Good morning, Emanuela. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Tell us more about this animation industry and how you've been able to navigate this with your passion.
Well, the animation industry, honestly, there's a lot going on, especially for Nigeria. It just needs some more. It just needs some more money pumped into it. And in terms of navigating it with my passion, honestly, there's a lot of discipline needed, there's a lot of resilience needed, but it's been made easier thanks to my mom. I'm just grateful to have this platform to share my voice on.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to ask, many young people like you delve into writing when they are around your age, around 16, 17. How does it feel to see your own work on the screen?
it feels so good. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Honestly, just getting to see my hard work turn out like this. There's so many people interested in this project. There's so many people proud of me. There's so many people that want to see this project out there on the big screen. They want to see people all over the world watch it. So it feels unreal sometimes, but I'm glad that hard work really takes people places, including me.
What personal experiences from your younger childhood have you infused into the first and this new project?
I would say hard work. There's determination, there's resilience, but there's also love and there's also friendship. Honestly, friendship, I believe, is underrated. A lot of things I've accomplished because of the support of my friends. A lot of things I've accomplished because of the love of my parents and my family. So I just wanted to bring that into my work, to let people realize how important these things are and to really just appreciate them in their lives.
Very interesting. So how do you do this balancing at this time, education and your passion?
Well, a lot of times my education has had to come first, which is why it took so long. I started when I was 16 and now I've completed as I'm a 19-year-old. There's so many times when I had to put it down to focus on midterms and exams. And there are lots of times where maybe I'd have to pull all-nighters to make sure I completed my goal for the day. But it's really just been an experience. I'm glad to be able to do all of this.
Absolutely. I love your passion. Then let me quickly come to Blessing now. What would you say is the biggest structural financial challenge currently facing the animation industry in Nigeria?
Okay, so very easily, I would say that the biggest structural or financial challenge in the animation industry is lack of sustainable funding and funding mechanisms. These are compounded by weak infrastructure, such as erratic power supply, lack of proper IP protection mechanisms. So these are the main issues in the industry. Coupled with the fact that to a large extent you also have maybe a shallow talent pipeline. So as much as possible, I think the government needs to invest in the infrastructure and really make this this sector of the Nollywood industry scale globally.
It's not cheap. So how are you funding Secrets of the Multiverse? Is it self-financed or are there external investors?
Well, as you know, animation is quite expensive. The last time out, it was self-funded. Right now, unfortunately, I'm glad to say I have a couple of friends in on this one with me. So it's not that the burden is kind of lessened. Permit me to say.
Animation is notoriously capital intensive. In your experience, what are the key ingredients for building a financially sustainable animation studio or franchise in Nigeria?
Well, I would say first of all, you probably need to have a clear IP strategy. You need to build your story world with characters that resonate with your audiences. You need to have that unique story world resonate with your audiences, and then you need to own the IP. You need to own that intellectual property, so that way you can build, you can create value and build, sustainable income. Probably another thing to look about is to engage, in strategic partnerships. Probably have co-productions or have partnerships, cross-border partnerships. So that's another way to go. You actually need to think long term, because animation is something that you can build as a franchise, and then diversify your revenue income, your revenue streams rather. Go into merchandising, all sorts, mobile games, t-shirts, the like, just general merchandising. So there's lots to gain from your revenue streams, if you ask me.
Well, we'll talk more about your collaborations with some other animation experts in the country, but we'll have to go on a quick break now. When we come back from the break, we'll definitely talk more about this development. Do not go anywhere. Definitely, we'll be right back.
Okay.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, Guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
We still have animation experts in the house this morning. Blessing Amidu and Amelia Amidu join us on the program talking about animation. Many thanks for staying tuned on the program this morning. Back to you, Blessing. You earlier said that animation is capital intensive. What is that passion that is making you to forge ahead despite the huge finances in this industry?
Well, if you ask me, I'll say passion will always outweigh, expenses. So that's the way I look at it. Coupled with the fact that I've always spent time with my kids, in front of the TV, especially when they're watching cartoons. So I've grown to love, animation quite a lot, or cartoons quite a lot. And looking into the Nollywood space, I've come to discover that we've not, that industry is, still growing, and I'm just, contributing my quota. So that's just the way I look at it. So as much as possible, I know that, at some point in time, my passion will pay off. And if you ask me, I would say it's paying off already. Yeah.
I can see that you're also smiling to the bank.
Well, Emanuela, how has the experience been like working with your mom?
It's been so much fun. She's honestly really chill. That's what I can say. And she's very understanding. She's very patient, especially with how long it took to finish the script. 3 years is a lot. But she's very understanding. She's kind. Yeah.
Well, you need to be specific, Emanuela. Are there no times you guys had issues, challenges? Tell us more about this, Emanuela. You need to be frank at this time.
We know how African parents can be.
We have the same values, the same views. Yeah.
You can continue with your line of thought.
Oh, we have the same values, the same thoughts. We see things the same way most of the time. But like when it comes to animation, we're both passionate about this. We're both passionate about the industry. So yeah, we make the same decisions basically. Yeah.
So what role do you see Nollywood play in the future of African animation?
Nollywood has made a very huge stand. I definitely think it can shift into animation a lot, especially the children. They have a place in animation, especially since animation is targeted towards children. So it would definitely make a lot of sense for Nollywood to expand in this direction.
I would like us to talk about Emanuela's future because you are a writer and a superb one at that. But you are studying economics in school. How are you going to balance the two of them?
Yes. I have to say that writing is my true passion. I love economics, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. I do very well in it. I understand it. But writing is it for me. I feel like economics might actually become a hobby for me in the future. Writing is my main path.
Absolutely. It's a fine place to live it. Animation filmmaker Blessing Amidu and Emanuela Amidu. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.